Well, hey guys, today is Saturday, September 30th. Um, I had a pretty interesting night last night. I'm going to try and remember as much as I can. I'm having some memory issues right now. But anyway, so we had Wayne come in last night and hang out with us for a while, and we were having some activity. A few twinkle lights. We did have a shimmering image standing basically directly in front of us, probably about 30 yards, 25, 30 yards the direction I'm facing. Um, I'd seen it first, and then I asked if they could see it, and sure as shit they did. So that tells me it wasn't just me. Um, but the activity wasn't real heavy while Wayne was here, and I don't remember what time it was that Wayne bailed out, but he took off, and right after he left, and I mean right after he left, uh, things got things got pretty saturated around here. Is the simplified way of saying it. I was off at basically around the center of the camp. Wayne had just left, and Chris was standing kind of about 15 feet in front of where I'm sitting right now, and he was just staring. Yeah, so I walked over and asked him, "Are you seeing something?" He's like, "Look up the hill." Yeah, so I'm looking up there and kind of got in the spot, looking where he was talking about, and I start seeing movement up there, and quite a bit of movement, and twinkle lights, and it was just absolutely, you know, off the charts. Um, but I'm going to let this be more of Chris's story, and so I'm going to hand this over to Chris and let Chris kind of fill you in on what was going on. So here he is.
Oh, you want me to hold it?
Yeah.
That's a problem with my one hand. I should probably start this up by saying, "Hi, Kathy." I can't help it, man. Hang on a second. Take that. I have it wedged into my bad hand. All right. Well, I'm going to start with this. So this is a new location for Kev's been up here once before, a couple times cutting wood. Him and Chuck did a night up here, and then he did a night solo 2 nights ago, night before last. And we had planned to come up and do a Friday night and Saturday night. So I got up here. We got up here yesterday. Beautiful location. It's a new place. It's not super close to anywhere else. I mean, it's within an hour, maybe, of Hilltop and Campo Bonito, but it's different. And one of the things I feel like I perceive at all of our spots, and I think I've talked about it before, is like I kind of have a sensitivity to like the vibe or the energy of a place, and so I would say that my take on West Side was I got a vibe like I knew there was activity here, but I felt like we were an unknown factor. These guys don't know us, and I felt like it was almost like we know you're here, we know we're here. Let's leave it like that and see where it goes. Like that was the kind of vibe I got, almost standoffish, which is cool. I mean, even seeing any visuals is unique when I was catching that vibe. And then, like Kev said, after Wayne split last night, and we had some late activity going on, nothing too crazy. Things got interesting. One of the things that we definitely had a big rock thrown at us. Maybe that's where I'm getting the leave us alone type vibe, but it wasn't really like that. That was one of the that was something that stood out. I think Kevin mentioned that. So earlier in the day, we'd gone on a hike, and one of the things that's different about a lot of these Mogollon Rim spots is there's not a lot of kind of, I guess for lack of a better term, traditional structures in this area, and in any of these areas. I mean, there's some at Hilltop, usually where there's more aspens, you see a lot more of that type of work, but there's not much here. But there is some, if you look, you'll see it. And so we went on a little cruise yesterday. We hiked out, and we came on this one area that Kevin and I both felt it like immediately. The vibe changed after we crossed over a line, and there was some kind of like a ground. I think Mark Abel would refer to it as like a bordering structure, and we walked into it, and there was a really old tree with a small leaner up to it that shouldn't even have been there. And it felt like almost like a sacred place. It was a spot for whatever kind of spot that was. There was something going on there. So, it was kind of like we walked into a place that was important to them, I think. I think that's what it is. And maybe that kind of kicked off a little curiosity about us, because things did pick up last night. We had, after Wayne left, there was a off into the back, probably about a couple hundred, maybe 150 yards in front of us. There was an area that was lit up by the moon. It was a pretty good moon last night, and I was watching right now, literally, like Wayne's taillights were just going down the trail, and I was watching figures moving around and back and forth, and it was just, and then the twinkle lights started to manifest pretty heavily, and it lasted, and the entire vibe changed. The temperature dropped again as we walked closer to it, because we wanted to get a better look at what was going on without intruding. So we got a little bit closer. It got cold, which I took that as kind of like a back off type thing. But I don't know. We don't know. And then it definitely, Kevin started getting zapped. I started getting zapped, and we kind of retreated back to where we were hanging out. And then it subsided, and it was. So I think we called it around 10:30. And I had a rough night. I got messed with, I think, all night. For some reason, the amount of liquid that I took in last night to what I was putting out was there was a bit of a disparity, and I was up every 45 minutes, it seemed like, for most of the night. So I decided to leave the tent flap open a little bit so that I wouldn't wake Kevin and I in this big 10-man tent with 2 cots in it. And I felt bad, and I didn't want to wake him up, so I didn't want to keep zipping and unzipping the tent. So after the last time I went out, I laid down and I left it open just so I could just bolt out if I had to. And I was dozing, and something grabbed my shoulder. Like, reached in and grabbed my shoulder, because my head was up towards the front of the tent. So I jumped up, and I ran out, and I said, "Hey, leave me alone." I felt like they were messing with me. And I got this, right on the other side of the tent, there's a little brush area that we're naming Mirkwood, for lack of a better term, or the far left. And I got this right there. So I said, "Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I just want to go to sleep. Thank you." So I laid back down, and I didn't really get bothered with it again. That was at like 3 a.m. I mean, it was pretty late. Also, I thought I saw something when I came out one of the other times to go to the bathroom, and I thought it was a bear. It was within visual distance, and it looked pretty big and massive, but I had my glasses on, so I don't know what it was, but it was big and black and wide and moving. So I retreated again back into the tent, and so I woke up this morning, and then Kevin's first question he asked me, "Did you hear voices outside the tent last night?" I said, "Oh yeah, let me get a coffee in me and I'll tell you about it." So that was kind of the gist of our night. I think we got a little bit of, I mean, when I say a little bit, I mean like a tinge of communication. Kevin had gotten a name. He thought he got a name earlier in the day or the night before, and I got a vibe from I thought it was a female, and a name named Shura. I thought that's what it was, and that was it. And it wasn't, and then there was nothing, like nothing. Nothing was coming to, really interact with us in any significant way, but we got a good visual show, and it's a cool spot. I think we need to spend some time here and see what develops, but I'm glad to be here, and Weather's beautiful here. It's a windy day. Temperatures dropped, so we're kind of geared up a little bit more for some cooler weather. Summer's over on the rim, that's for sure. It's a beautiful time of year to be here, and I'm glad to be here with Kev, I love, my brother. Glad to have Wayne up here. I guess the rest of the guys are all out doing other stuff, but they know where we're at. Anyway, love you guys, and like I said, great to be here, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. And the one thing that he missed, and when we went in the tent last night, I could hear movement outside the tent, and
By the food.
Right outside the tent where I have the kitchen set up, and so I did a click. I went like that, and got a click back, and me and this individual out there did this over and over, back and forth to each other, probably 3-4 minutes. So absolutely astonishing. I love it when things like that happen. But I'm going to let you go for now. Just had to fill you in on last night. We got tonight. So as always, thank you very much. I love each and every one of you. Please be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Please, please, please pay attention to your surroundings. Peace out.